Everybody, thanks for joining me. This is another request from Mango Hippie, and this one's called Queensland Longhorn Cattle Breeders Are Proving Not Everything is Bigger in Texas. Yeah, it's funny how you come up with that one, Mango. You guys down in Australia always try to tease me that Texas is not as big as, maybe one, what do you call them, cattle stations down there in Australia. And I get it. So I guess you guys got our Longhorn cattle down there now. Well, good for you. And yeah, man, I'm glad to hear it, man. I love Longhorn cattle. They just look so majestic, and it's a Texas thing, but apparently, and this is the first time hearing about it, y'all got it down there in Australia too. So good on you. All right, y'all. So let's get into the intro and right into the video, and together we'll watch. This is another ABC Australia documentary, I guess, mini documentary. So let's get into it, y'all.
It looks a little like this is the heart of the American West.
So we have Norman, we have Amigo, we have Newt, we have Hank over the other side there. And they're all sired by the same bull.
But this ain't Texas, it's Charters Towers in North Queensland.
We're at Learton Park, which is 10 kilometres just north of Charters Towers. And it's the home of one of the biggest herds of full-blood Texas Longhorn cattle in Australia, and also the home to Texas Longhorn Tours, our tourist attraction.
Michael and Linda Bethel have been breeding Texas Longhorns for more than 20 years. It's been a consuming passion.
It started off as a love and a passion, still is. Never thinking in that wildest dreams that we'd ever make a living out of Texas Longhorn cattle.
The couple grew up together.
We actually went to school together. So we grew up in a little country town called Georgetown. Michael lived down on a property, I lived in town, went to school together, and I suppose the rest is history.
Kind of like the old childhood sweetheart thing, So yeah, that's everybody knew everybody else, and I'd tell everybody that Linda was not only was she the prettiest girl in Georgetown, she was the only girl I wasn't related to, so just kidding.
The Bethel story with Longhorns began in the 90s, but the breed's history spans hundreds of years.
Yeah, nothing defines the old West like, cowboys, and we've said it a million times. If it wasn't the Texas Longhorns, it wouldn't be cowboys and cowgirls. Their ancestors were the first cattle ever introduced into the New World, the Americas, in 1493, and they were. And later those cattle evolved into what became known as Texas Longhorns.
The cattle roamed wild for generations, but in 1865, at the end of the American Civil War, that changed.
There was a big demand for beef and hide and tallow up in the north after the war, and there was a humongous supply of Texas Longhorn cattle, running wild in the south. So the demand was met when they started driving those big herds north, and that's kind of the short history. There was literally millions and millions of cattle walk north. It was the biggest overland movement of livestock that the world's ever seen.
Fast forward to today, and Texas Longhorns have made their mark on not just American culture, but Australia's as well.
R.M. Williams proudly used the Longhorn as his trademark. Even, there wasn't even any Longhorns in Australia when R.M. Williams realised the importance of something so iconic as the Texas Longhorns.
The Bethels breed the real deal, full-blooded Texas Longhorns.
How pretty.
Artificial insemination has made this possible.
Not as many good quality Texas Longhorn cattle wouldn't be here without the AI, for sure. To be able to import different genetics each year from the US, it keeps your herd ticking over.
Linda is entrusted with the process to preserve the quality and longevity of the herd.
For it to be available to be imported into Australia, it does have to tick a lot of boxes. So we don't have a big choice to come in each year
A lot rides on ensuring a successful insemination, which takes place at the Longhorn Love Shack. The Bethels custom-made their cattle crush to help fit the horns.
I love the excitement. I love the breeding side of it. I love knowing that I can keep the Longhorn herd ticking over and producing calves, each year, which to me, AI is certainly not a chore. It's just something I love doing.
This is how we measure their horns. So when we go through here, you have to go around the back of that one.
When it comes to the horns, bigger is always better. And no cow reflects this sentiment more than Johnny Reb, aka JR.
That he ended up being the longest on beast in the world for about 5 years. He was the Guinness World Record holder. And it was just amazing to think that we could breed something like that here. And, we're very proud and very humbling for something, and to think that it all happened down,
In the Love Shack.
Yeah, the Longhorn Love Shack.
Right.
And we
Proud moment.
Very proud. Very proud of JR.
So, man, I didn't know anything about this, but hats off to these two here for. I don't know if they imported it. They mentioned somebody else, a guy by the name of, I think, Williams or Williamson or whatever, who in the 90s had, had this vision, I guess, about the Texas Longhorn, and they're raising them in Australia. And, man, they got some big horns down there and beautiful cattle. Beautiful cattle. It has great beef on the Texas Longhorn. We even got restaurants named, Longhorn this or Longhorn that, and it's because it's kind of like our heritage. It's like y'all's kangaroos or wombats or whatever. It's Texas Longhorns here, so it's very interesting to me. I hope it's as interesting to me as it is to y'all. Here it is. Well, I probably said that backwards.
The Bethel's hard work to preserve and improve the genetics of their Longhorns is paying off.
This is currently the longest horned cow in Australia. Her name's Millie. Yet they won't grow the big horns unless they've got the good genetics.
Some horns are just getting started.
Fastest cow in history to reach the mark of 90 inches from tip to tip. She got there before her 3rd birthday, and there's no other cow in the world that's ever done that.
The Bethels are proving not everything is bigger in Texas.
It makes you feel proud as an Australian.
Here we go.
To be able to do, what Longhorn breeders have been trying for years and years, decades in the US to achieve, and we've done it here in 25 years.
Mick takes great pride in his animals.
So if you're trying to breed perfect Texas Longhorn steers, this is what you'd be trying to breed. Something that grows a really nice set of horns, grows quickly, a nice carcass, a nice colour, and just a beautiful, quite gentle temperament. That's Jake. The old Texas twist, and you see how his horns are twisting, and they'll continue to twist till the day he dies with that twisty corkscrew shape. So that's very desirable, and when that there on a mount over the fireplace is just, sorry Jake, is just perfect. You see the size of him and the length of him as well.
Sometimes they get a little close for comfort.
Migo's a bit of a serial pest too, so you come and surround the buggy. Now we're getting a bit surrounded here.
Given the horns on show, the Bethels seem to have their genetics recipe just right, and it's in demand.
It is in Australia. We get inquiries from all over Australia.
We've bred cattle here that are in Tasmania, up in the Northern Territory. We've delivered cattle from here down to Melbourne, up to Darwin, and everywhere in between.
Polled genetics is most favourable in production systems nowadays. You guys are really going against the grain of that, aren't you?
That's it. You got to wash your mouth out with soap when you use the polled word around here, Lucy. I can say that Linda and I, the only polled animals we have here are horses.
The 110,000 acre cattle station is also home to Asian water buffalo, Scottish Highlanders, Sardo Negro, American bison and African Watusi cattle.
But we thought, let's just make this a little bit more add a little bit more of a point of difference to it, and add a few more of the other very rare bovine breeds in Australia, ones that we think would handle the conditions up here.
A key tourist attraction for the region, Learton Park welcomes thousands of visitors each year. A chance for Michael and Linda to share the Texas Longhorn story.
Her beautiful temperament, her daughter's is just as quiet and gentle as her and all her offspring.
Only 10 minutes from Charters Towers, the Longhorn tours help bring tourists to the region. What are people's reactions when they see the Longhorns?
Oh, that's the best part. They are just blown away. Like, honestly, they just can't get over how close you can get, how spectacular they are, the colours, the size of the horns. And like kids that have been here that have never seen like a calf suck its mother, or, just all the stuff that we take for granted. You see a lot of special moments within their life, but also a lot of the older people that visit us takes them back down memory lane. Like all the old stuff that we've got here, the equipment, but also just being out in the paddock amongst animals.
The Bethels strive for authenticity.
It's synonymous with the old West too, and there wasn't a herd of cattle that went up the Texas Trail that didn't have a chuck wagon in tow. We had that one made for us by a wagon maker out in Fort Davis, Texas, way out in West Texas. It's an authentic, exact replica of the chuck wagon that they used all those years ago. And you can see how light that.
Mick, a saddle maker by trade, also makes sure no part of his beloved Longhorns go to waste.
To us, the horns are a bonus because they're a saleable part of the animal when the animal dies.
Learton Park is no different from other cattle operations. The paddock to plate turnaround time is just a little bit longer than usual.
Texas Longhorns aren't just pretty coloured cattle with long horns. They do offer a lot when it comes to the history, but they also offer a lot when it comes to meat quality.
But at the end of the day, they all do get eaten, I suppose.
The Bethels' commitment to their unique herd is testament to decades of hard work.
I just love being able to show people what we've got here, like the years and years that we've put into breeding the Longhorns, and to be able to show that to people, show those spectacular cattle to them, but also for them to get up close to nature, even if it's just going to a big paddock. They don't get to do that. But being amongst the Longhorns is, seeing the joy on other people's faces is what I really like as well.
You do what you love and love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life.
True.
It's kind of summed it up for us. It is a labour of love, and it continues to be so.
I'd have to go back there and look, but so I'll wait till this finishes out. Sorry, I thought it was. Oh, there we go. Man, like I said, I'd have to go back and look and re-watch this, but it sounded like he said 110, or she said 110,000 acres. Holy cow, man. That's a whole lot of money, out there. But, it probably was handed down over the years, and he's probably added to it, to hand it down to his offspring, so to speak. But I think it's just a thing of beauty, man, for people that do this, and they're out there in the nature, and they're working with these animals, and they're loving these animals. And I like how he likes the Texas culture, with the chuck wagons. And y'all put down there in the comments if you've seen that movie. It's a mini series called Lonesome Dove, and it came out in 1989. And I don't know, y'all being in Australia, if you'd be interested in something like that. But if you get a chance, or if you haven't seen it and you're interested in something like that, man, I'm telling you, it's probably the best movie made about Texas cattle and cattle drive. They take a lot of liberties, obviously, for entertainment value, but it's a great show, man. Good characters in it. I think y'all would enjoy it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Mango, thank you for the request. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and spending your time here. It means a lot to me. So until I see y'all again, I'll catch you down the road. All right, man. Bye, y'all.